Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is John Hope Bryant, Chairman and CEO of Operation Hope, to discuss the launch of Financial Literacy for All. John, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me.
Why is there a growing need for financial literacy in the United States?
2020, the pandemic, the social unrest, the 40-year-old social justice reckoning of Black America, the unemployment rate that was the largest since the Great Depression, the economic crisis that hit small businesses and families of all sorts alike, where we finally realized folks have too much month at the end of their money, all people. And whether you're white, black, red, brown, or yellow, you want to see some more green. And this economy is really not that resilient. We're the largest economy on the planet, but 70% of this economy is consumer spending. But no one's sort of supporting the average family with a private banker. So it became apparent to everybody else, which is something I've been preaching, as you know, for a while, which is that this is the civil rights issue of this generation. This is like the right to vote. Financial literacy is as fundamental to your democracy and your aspiration as is healthcare, right to vote, food on your table. And so we think it's time for this to become embedded into the culture of this country and the business plan of America.
What are the long-term benefits of financial well-being? What is the societal impact?
Well, I'll tell you what happens when you do the opposite. Citigroup report showed recently that when you discriminate against Blacks alone, not women, not other minorities, when you leave them out of the economy, this is a form of financial stupidity, financial illiteracy. The economy got hit with $16 trillion in lost GDP from the year 2000 to the year 2020. And we knocked it off right now and just included everybody who could contribute. You'd pick up $1 trillion a year. And then the opposite of that is you have about $415 billion of lost GDP because of financial illiteracy. So you have both sides of this. You have a net loss because people are going to check cashers and payday loan lenders and rent-to-own stores and title lenders and all kind of crazy things that they're doing or not doing and being taken advantage of. And then you've got the lost opportunity at the top end, where I think you have 2 to 3% of lost GDP or untapped GDP from folks at the bottom of the pyramid, including my poor white friends in rural America, who I don't think are fully contributing to the economy. So it's everybody.
With that said, tell us about the Financial Literacy for All initiative and who are some of the business leaders that will be participating?
Sure. So Financial Literacy for All is what it sounds like. It is to get the CEOs of the biggest companies in America, and by extension the world, led by me and the CEO of Walmart, Millen, as my co-chair, CEO of Walgreens, CEO of Bank of America. This is the founding group. CEO of Delta Airlines, Commissioner of NFL, Commissioner of the NBA, billionaire Tony Ressler, who owns the Atlanta Hawks, go Hawks right now, and Sal Khan, and a range of other leaders in this core group who come together and said, we think this is important to our business plan, like health wellness was 2 years ago, or healthcare was 20 years ago. And they're embedding it in the business plan for their various operations. We have another group of a dozen companies that'll be announced next week, which will blow people's socks off. And another group that's already teed up for July. And I think we've got ambassadors like Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, who will be signing his voice, lending his voice to it. Bishop T.D. Jakes, who is one of the most prominent pastors in the country. You're going to see opinion leaders and all these folks starting to vibrate and aggregate. Oh, by the way, the CEO of Disney. Not only is he a co-chair, a founder, we actually had a Disney Institute meeting about 2 weeks ago where they leaned their whole institute into providing creative content to enhance engagement from Americans, because of course they're experts at it, for the whole country. So it's getting everybody involved in this conversation, making it part of our culture, make it sustainable for 10 years, properly resource it, start at the top, but most importantly, embed it into the business plan.
What can be expected throughout the curriculum?
Well, I don't know about the curriculum, but you expect results from the outcomes. This is going to be outcome based. We're going to hit 5 million employees who need financial coaching in real practical terms. This is not about a website or a press release or a brochure. This is not like telling somebody what they should be doing. It's helping them to get it done. It's leaning in half of African Americans, by the way, have a credit score below 620. If you think about that, that means that half of African Americans with PhD and advanced degrees watching your show are locked out of the free enterprise system. You can't get a loan for a small business at below 700 credit score. It's considered risky credit. So it's to get credit scores up for the banks, get the banks out of the no business and back in the yes business, get the credit score up, which is what Operation Hope does in our Hope Inside locations. For airlines like Delta Airlines, for companies like Delta, we're going to financially coach all 80,000 of their employees. There are companies like Delta that pulled out $1 billion from their employees' 401k plans in 2020 alone because of loans that they probably won't pay back. This is that quiet stress that people are experiencing that no one knows about. So it's everybody from coaching employees out of bad situations, helping them to make good choices, to working with customers and communities. Some people will deal with seniors, like one big company that will get announced next week as part of their business, but they want to financially coach seniors. Great. And some people will deal with children in communities because they think that's the future. Okay, that's great too. But we want to, as long as it's serious and substantive, it qualifies.
And John, what's so exciting about what you had mentioned before, if we ingrain this into U.S. school systems, if we ingrain it into our culture, think about that large segment that you said that has a credit score at 620 or below. Even if just a fraction of that can be improved through financial literacy and education, look at how much more can get into the economy as they're able to open up businesses, as they're able to innovate. It's a game changer.
Yes, that's why I think this is a material issue. And that's why I can't get this out of my mouth when I call CEOs and they just say yes. Now, 20 years ago, they might go, oh, talk to my public relations, my public affairs people or my foundation people. But now the CEO themselves are going, no, this is important to me. This is important to my employees, to my customers, my businesses. Half of all Americans are financially stressed out on the job. The average American spends 28 hours stressed out and immobilized on the job about money. They just don't want to admit it. It's a disease, really, and it has never been treated. And if we don't treat it, it's handicapping the largest, freest economy, the largest democracy for free enterprise based in the world. And I think we're a beacon of hope for others, and we need to be a beacon of hope on this. And I'm also trying to get the government to also take action as well. And we are having very productive talks in that regard.
Well, that's good. We like to see action, not just press releases. John, it's great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.